First thing I gotta ask, fuzz war pedals. What can you tell me about what they mean to you?
Death by Audio, just in the whole, is just like an amazing company. Don't want to do too much, ad space for them because we're not sponsored yet. But yeah, the Fuzz War is basically the powerhouse of our sound right now. Yeah, we're we're testing out some other fuzzes too, trying to dial in some tones. But yeah, Fuzz War has really done us well. If you have some words.
Sure. The Fuzz War is an inspiring pedal, to say the least. If you want to know the inside scoop, how I use it, my tone, there's 3 knobs. Turn them all the way up, that's the Rugg tone.
So I get the Rugg tone. Where does the Rugg vibe come from? The vibe that's just like, we're going to rock in the record store, and we're going to rock this bitch out. It's going to be the loudest y'all have ever heard in here, and it's going to be fucking banging. Everybody here is going to be moving their head. Where the fuck does that come from?
Well, it comes from a lot of different influences. We are all fairly versed when it comes to music. Carolyn very much has a electronic kind of influence and a style, and it very much blends super well with this super fuzzy garage rock, psychedelic fuzz sound that Brandon and I create. And it's one of those things we don't just want to be 3 people coming up playing some songs. It's a whole experience, and that's what it's all about. It's about the vibe.
Yeah. And just like, you mentioned just like getting people moving, and just a really loud and like visceral band like ours. I feel like that's just like a really powerful thing, Yeah.
Especially in like a small room, like when you have like a really powerful band filling up the entire room, it's just like, it's kind of like I don't know, infectious to what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If people aren't grooving, we're doing something wrong.
So how does speedball play into all of this right now? Because I feel like it's got a little influence. So how does it play into what y'all are doing today?
Yeah. Speedball, yeah, that's us. Like, honestly, if we didn't do speedball, I probably wouldn't be in this band, because I joined the band after kind of just like a reconnecting with that, like our whole circle of friends and stuff, whole story. But yeah, speedball goes back probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and me and Brendan have been playing for that long together, and that definitely plays into this band sounding so tight, is because we've had that history together for sure. And yeah, we cut our teeth doing that shit.
Definitely. And I would also say the kind of groove to it that speedball had, kind of more of like a reggae type vibe. Very much, I wouldn't say we're reggae at all.
A worse band.
That's fair, but it's that groove. It's all about the groove.
Extra bit on some history, talking about going back, playing in bands. Me and Brendan also, I've been playing since high school in various other bands. Deep Cut.
Ooh, Atlas,
dropping the Atlas.
The shitty interviewers who talked to them before didn't want to drop the name of the earlier band, so fuck them. Here y'all get it right here in the flesh.
Right here from the horse's mouth.
The other interviewer. Nardwar didn't know that one.
Yeah. Watuga Collective.
But yeah, we've all been playing music since high school and beyond, and just like I think having that experience with each other just kind of tied Rugg together. It knitted the rug, if you could say,
Well, so Rugg plays a lot of riff-based. Take two. Riff-based music. With that being said, what's y'all's favorite riff-based song? This could change for everybody too, so I want to hear this.
Right now, the riff-based song that I've been listening to and cannot get out of my head, The Hills by Possum. They are a Georgia, I think Atlanta, no, Canada. I think Toronto is where they're from. They're an incredible psych band. Their first album, Space Grade Assembly, fire. The Hills specifically.
For me, I've been listening to, as far as riff bass goes, there's a few Zappa tracks I go to a lot.
Okay.
And yeah, his riffs are just like, infectious as well. I mean, Joe's Garage a little bit, you know. I'm more of a fan of his instrumental tracks and like more of the Mother stuff. Apostrophe, of course. You know, Apostrophe just like, yeah, it hits for me.
I mean, I guess as for riff-based music, I don't. No, it's like you can expand riff to mean like a lot of things. I listen to a lot of like electronic music. Riff-based song. I don't know. I also listen to Ween. Maybe some by Ween. I'll say It's Gonna Be a Long Night by Ween. It's maybe my favorite riff-based song, I guess.
I guess my final thing I have to ask, where the hell is your inspiration for just playing drums? Where does like your main sound, like if you could think of like top 3, 5 artists or something, where would that come from?
Top 3. That's a tough question. I would be remiss if I don't say Zach Hill from Death Grips. Hella is probably one of my favorite like math rock acts like ever. One of my favorite acts ever. Zach Hill is definitely up there, super far up there for inspiration on the drums. Also Billy Cobham, who's a jazz fusion drummer, played in Mahavishnu Orchestra. Huge influence for me, especially when I first started playing. And third one, I would say Bernard Purdy, for sure. He's session drummer. If you play drums, you've heard of the legend, absolute legend. Played on Steely Dan, Asia, a few tracks of that album. It's one of my favorite albums ever. A lot of Rugg songs, like parts of them are just straight up ripped from that like the drum parts on that album. So listen close, yeah, and compare, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Bernard Purdy, Zach Hill, Billy Cobham are probably my top 3 biggest inspirations on the drums, for sure.
Anyway. Yeah! God, I know y'all love Mustangs down at Boone.
Oh, Mustangs. We were talking about inspirations. Probably Mustang Motor Company or whatever. My number one inspiration. Yeah, they inspire me to do everything I do.
Yeah, there's nothing that we could do without Mustang.
Can we trademark that? Mustang Motor Company?
How the fuck does the baritone play into like just playing music differently than a regular motherfucker with bass?
So, you know, we just wanted to have a more, I don't know, dynamic sound than a lot of bands that you hear. A lot of 3 pieces. Guitar, bass, and drums. Like a lot of 3 pieces.
A lot. All of them.
Probably all the 3 pieces. I don't know. You know, it's interesting. You know, bass, guitar, and drums. We just wanted to have a little bit different. So, you know, I put together that baritone. I couldn't find one with a, I guess people call it the whammy or tremolo. A lot of them come without it, and I needed that. So I put that on mine. I got the red one. I like the red.
Well, Rugg, thank you very, very much for being here in Raleigh tonight.
Thank you. Whoever watches this, thank you. I hope we blow up. I love music. I love doing this. I want to do this for the rest of my life. I love drums. It's like top 2 things I care about. I love these 2 right here also.
Yes, we all love each other, and we hope that we will do this forever until the afterlife.
We got one word.
And we got one word right now from our favorite friends at Rugg. Hit them with it.
Fucking solidarity.
Solidarity
Forever. We love you.
Solidarity.
I don't know, but I want to be where he is right now. Nah.
So one thing I really heard that I was trying to make the connection with tonight was that you have a big influence of Kurt Cobain in you. And I was like, where do you think Kurt Cobain really plays in your playing?
Like middle school and high school, and I would like constantly watch like live at Reading and like live unplugged, and especially like live in Reading and like live at Paramount. Like Kurt just kind of, well, I mean, you see at the beginning of it, he walks on stage and he's like pretends that he's dying or something. He's like, "Some say love is a reason," and he just like passes the fuck out. But then he like proceeds to play Breed, and it is like one of the most legendary performances I've ever seen. So that's why I like Kurt Cobain, because he's just, his energy is just all over the fucking place. It's great.
So one thing I really struggled to connect half the time with like your voice and Kurt Cobain is like Kurt Cobain's very growly and everything, and you like hit this insane range that's like, it's not very Kurt Cobain to you. So I'm wondering where does the vocal inspiration come for you personally?
Honestly, my mom. As like, I don't know, that's cheesy or whatever, but like my parents, they met in a band back in the early 90s, and my mom was really into Pat Benatar, and my dad was really into like Rod Stewart and stuff like that. So like they kind of had that little thing. And I don't know, I just kind of grew up in there watching them play in the basement, and she would just hit all these high notes, and I'm like, "Whew, Mom," you know. Yeah.
Oh, that's accurate. That's accurate. How do you think the strings adds to the sound of the Inflights?
I don't know. I just think it's cool to have a different texture. Like a lot of bands around here, a lot of local bands, you'll see like 2 guitars, a bass, and drums. So it's cool to like switch up the instrumentation and just have a different sound, I guess. And it's cool. I like experimenting with pedals, like adding reverb and delay and stuff. Yeah.
So how do you think it's changed adding 2 guitars versus 1? Both of y'all gotta hop down.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, so this is like a recent like lineup that we've like made. It came from very recent. This is this is our first show as the lineup. So we're still trying to figure that out. But like, I knew immediately. Second show. We did Wings, the Wing Flights. But like. Well, when we first started like going over the originals and everything, like Trent immediately just like thought of his own parts like off the dome, and like within 10 minutes, like he had his own like part, and it was awesome, and it was like different. I don't know, just having different creative minds like really helps. And oh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're really great songs, and like I just have fun like writing them. The parts just came to me, you know what I mean? Like I feel like when there's a good song, you just know what you're gonna play, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how it was for me, but
Just
yeah.
wait till we write together.
Yeah, for real. That's going to be awesome.
What was the dollar amount from a hardware store electric taping your bass up?
Oh my god. Okay, so I didn't actually tape it, sad, but true. I got it for my birthday from my uncle who taped it. He's an artist. And that's when I started playing bass and joined my first band. So yeah, it's just been with me ever since.
So you haven't changed that bass at all. What really sticks with you about it?
Well, everybody seems to like it, so there's that. Yeah, and I just don't want to touch it. Huh?
Doesn't it have a name? No.
Oh, yeah, it does have a name. All my basses have names. But that one in particular is Doc. It says Doc on the thing, so I just never changed it. Yeah.
What can you tell me about your SoundCloud, more specifically the demos that are on there right now?
I don't know if I've ever even listened.
Right now. They will be expanded upon, and y'all will see what happens with it.
What the fuck is going on in the studio right now, Garrett? You're in there, you're grinding. What's happening? What can you tell the people about what's happening?
All right. Well, up until 2 weeks ago, I was planning on mainly doing this EP by myself and like doing all like most of the instrumentation, and everything. And I have like the bass and the drums and like the rhythm guitar down, but like, you know, now that I got like the homies here and everything, like I want to make sure that like, well, for one, we played Stoplight, for example, for the first time, and Audrey came up with this crazy cello part, and I was like, that shit needs to be in there. So now like, let's just make it a fucking collaborative effort. So it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be something interesting, and we're excited to show y'all.
You
I killed John Lennon? Yo, what the fuck?
That's gum.
Hopefully with my shirt.
Look who showed up for this.
Boxes t-shirt for
Hey guys.
$25.
Me and you both.
And we
Me.
bought a Moving Boxes shirt. This mic isn't even on, G. Okay, thanks. Nah, yeah, no, I bought a shirt there for like a lot of money, and I walked back and I lost it.
It was $20.
Okay, thanks. But like I bought one and like it's just gone.
I remember him holding for about 5 seconds, and then I was like, that looks cool. Went and bought one. He no longer had his.
Yeah. Did you take mine?
No, I actually did pay for
Rugg,
it. And,
Rugg's been going strong for a while. They sound like the color purple. I was in there. Could fucking feel that shit in my cranium, man. It's like reverberating in my head.
I'm glad he said that. That's what he was talking to me about during the show, and I was like, you need to say that on camera.
Yeah.
And he did.
Here we are. They said it. Who made that though? Like, who sat down and was like,